Welcome to Socratic Theory here today, December 18th. I am with CEO Josh Band from Play Crates. Can you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, man. My name is Josh Band. I'm the founder and CEO of Play Crate. Play Crate's a monthly box of baseball gear, training aids, accessories, lifestyle items. Been doing it since 2015, completely bootstrapped, and we've grown that into a couple of other side businesses.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing business right there. How did that, what inspired that idea to put, these boxes together?
Yeah, so 2015, I was playing, I just got done with college. I was playing a little bit of professional baseball. If you know anything about minor league baseball, any minor league sports, you don't get paid a lot at all. So I was pouring concrete on the side. I was shoveling snow. I was doing personal training. I was doing stuff to make ends meet. And, I always had side businesses. So I knew I was going to start something. I saw subscription boxes getting really popular 2015. And so I did like a Google search one night, and I was like, there has to be a baseball one. Baseball's super popular. There's got to be a subscription box. So there was nothing in that space. So I was like, if there's one person to start a baseball subscription box, it's probably going to be me.
Man, that sounds like a great idea because I used to play baseball as well, when I first started, and we had to go buy, the gum and the seal, everything all separate and everything. So what comes in these boxes? Can you explain more of what comes in the box?
Yeah, so Play Crates are for baseball players. So nice. It's not necessarily for fans. It's for players. So you get on-field gear like protective equipment, shin guards, elbow guards, different things like that. You get apparel every month. So we have T-shirts and hoodies and hats and all different types of things. We have a sunflower seed company, Stadium Snacks. So it's gonna be Stadium Seeds, sunflower seeds inspired by Stadium Foods. So that also comes in the crate. And then anything just for fun with baseball. We've done everything from giant bubble competitions with Play Crate bubble sizers, to a million different training aids from, different small companies. We've come up with our own training aids, and just pretty much anything to use for a baseball player, on field, off field, and everything in between.
Absolutely. And what year did you guys got established? 2015?
We got established 2015. It was a side gig too. So,
nice.
the first year I was still playing baseball. So I packed my SUV full of baseball gear and some boxes for the summer, and I had a host family. So I was in my host family's, house, packing boxes, going to FedEx, then going to the field, getting my training in, going back, answering emails, then going and playing a game at night. So it was a side gig to start. I never intended on being full time or growing it.
And how challenging that was it starting, that business and really getting it off the ground, and what did you overcome as you started?
Yeah, I knew absolutely nothing. I didn't know. The longer I've been doing it, the kind of key is to ask really difficult problems and solve difficult problems. So when you first start out, you really don't know those questions to ask. It's tough to start. So, Google can be your best friend. Also just asking people that are a few years ahead of you, that's helped. Absolutely. I have really, really awesome mentors in the Boston area in e-commerce. So I just ask them, what's the next step? What problem are we trying to solve? And then you go and try to solve that problem. And as you grow and get bigger, you get new and different problems. And you just try to solve those next.
Absolutely. And it seems like, having the right mentor, being able to be able to solve problems and not running away from an obstacle that you have to overcome, and really finding guidance to starting. And I feel like, nowadays with this pandemic, a lot of people are kind of holding back and don't know how to start or overcome it, and you was able to get some help from Boston, you said. And any other ideas of how someone can get some help or be able to, really push forward their idea? You said Google was their best. Google was your best friend, or could be someone's best friend, and I think that's absolutely true when you're trying to do some research on what to start. And it can be challenging nowadays with a pandemic. How are you overcoming, the challenges of today?
Yeah. So, advice I usually give people is, and the advice that I see, people bring big business ideas to me, they overthink everything. Like your job in a business is creating value for other people. So the quickest time to start a business is quickest time to value. If you want to start a podcast, the best way to start a podcast is to record a podcast.
Here we go.
So that's the best way to get started is to get started, and people overthink things. People want to be perfect. People see themselves 5 years down the road, and you're not. So quickest time to value, bring something valuable to someone. That's the first step in the business. Get to first sale, get to that time of value. And then the second thing you talked about was, as mentors and asking people. What I've learned time and time and again, you can ask people things, but you need to kind of verify yourself. If they ask you to read a book, read the book, or they're not going to take you seriously. So I always tell people, read the book if you're asking people questions and they're giving you advice, and that could be anything. So if they say, my first mentor, this is an actual example. He has, a multi-$100 million company in the Boston area, and he took coffee with me, and I said, I have 3 questions. 3 questions you can't find on Google, because if you go in there and you're like, how do I start a website? He's gonna be like, get out of my office. Right. You can just Google that. So 3 questions only that person can help you with. Very, very specific. And then he said, start an affiliate program for PlayCrate, because you don't have one. And if you don't know what an affiliate program is, people sell PlayCrates. They promote PlayCrate on YouTube. They get a $10 commission. Wow. And you don't have to pay for that up front. And then the other thing, he told me to read a book. It was a Gary Keller book called The One Thing. I was like, cool. I'll see you back in a month. And he didn't really respond to that. So in a week, I set up an affiliate program. I had 5 affiliates, and I read the book, and I texted him. I said, I like the book because XYZ. My affiliate program, I have X amount of affiliates. They're doing this. And he's like, okay. I gave this kid advice. He followed through. He's like, when do you want to meet for coffee again? And now we have that relationship. But it was all about that first step. If you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it, or you lose all credibility. And that's the number one thing with mentors is not following through. I see that all the time. So follow through. Yeah,
because time is important for these people who are working so hard to get it going. So when someone's trying to reach out to them, they definitely want to make sure that you're serious about it, and being able to capture every opportunity that comes your way in a moment's notice. Like, I'm very glad that you was able to come down and be here in a moment's notice. I kind of just, ran into you, and I appreciate you just, coming through and being able to, share your experience of your challenges and how you overcame them. And, what are some ideas that you want to give out to or some opinions that you might have that you want to give to the generation that's listening to this podcast or YouTube channel, to be able to, like, going into their second year, third year, or being able to expand on their idea, getting a mentor, any resources that in Boston that might be able to, like, for me, my resource is SCORE. Have you heard of SCORE? The Small Business Administration. Yeah. So that's kind of like one of my resources. Google is another resource. Mm-hmm. Any other resource that you might have in mind that that would help someone to start or be able to continue moving forward?
Yeah, I would say, a really good one is honestly co-working communities. So, if you're a solopreneur and you're by yourself, it's much easier to meet people if you're not, I have an office upstairs from where we're recording this podcast right now, but I've worked in WeWorks, I've worked in work bars, I've worked everywhere. I go out to San Francisco, before COVID, and I just ask people, I ask people, I'm looking to learn this skill. Do you know anyone that might help? People are so generous and so wanting to help you, that if you fall through, if you read the book, if you do what people ask, they're willing to help. Because what happened was I got help from a million people. So when people ask me for help, I feel compelled to help them, because you just never get to where you're going by yourself. So that's the number one thing. Follow through and just ask. If you're in e-commerce, look up people in e-commerce in the area, shoot them an email. I think people really overestimate how difficult it is to get in touch with people. Some of my mentors I met I met them at weddings, I've met them at different places, I've reached out, and they say, if you're ever in the area, if you're ever in San Diego, and then I'll buy a ticket to San Diego and be like, hey, I'm in San Diego, you want to get that coffee? And take advantage of those opportunities, and Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely, and those opportunities be coming. And now with, a lot of the different challenges now, do you do a lot of Zoom calls now? Like, instead of getting that coffee, do you like, hey, let's just do a Zoom call? Like, I'm in the area, do you, you suggest that personal, like, in-person connection and talk? Like, how do you overcome that now?
We do Zoom, we do Google, and I think the key part of this relationship too is it's not one-sided. If you're asking, that gets kind of annoying. But I mean, they want to help someone who's clearly motivated and they're going to follow through, but also, what can you do for that person? Can you introduce them to somebody? So sometimes there's someone I want to work with and I don't even think I need anything from them, but they're a good person. They're in my space. They're in my ecosystem, which is e-commerce in the Boston area. So I said, hey, I'm reaching out. I'm Josh from Plate Crate, a monthly box baseball gear. I have this friend who has this company. I think you guys would be a great fit. Do you mind if I send an intro? So I'll play connector. Being a connector of people is the best way to meet people. So
here we go.
If you're starting a production company and you wanted to get into videos and e-commerce, maybe you reach out to people in, the e-commerce space in the area. You say, hey, a podcast is a great way to broaden your content strategy. Are you guys interested in a podcast? We could set it up. By the way, these are other people doing in the area. Do you mind if I connect you to, Sally Joe, who's had a lot of experience in it? And just being a connector and focusing more on the community and not yourself, being a part of the community, being a connector, and bringing value to your community as a whole. That's a great way to get started and to be a trusted person, around.
There you go. You heard it yourself from here at Socratic Theory. Josh himself is here from Plate Crate. So Josh, last question. Where can people find you? Where can they reach out? Where can they get in contact with you to be able to get to, Play Connector and maybe, reach out and be part of your affiliate program? Where can they reach you at?
Yeah, so you can go to platecrate.com. That's our main website. You can follow us at Plate Crate on Instagram. You can follow me personally at Josh Plate Crate on Instagram. And honestly, feel free to shoot me an email, josh@platecrate.com. Don't be afraid to reach out. I love helping people. And if you're in the North Shore, north of Boston after COVID, maybe we'll grab a coffee. Awesome. Thank you for being here today, Josh. I appreciate it. You've been able to give some great advice, your opinions, and some advice to everyone that's listening today. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Josh. Of course, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.